Hello, happy Tuesday. This is Tara with Tara's Tuesday Talk, and today is actually our 22nd episode. So we are filming our 22nd episode of Tara's Tuesday Talk on September 22nd. That's just kind of fun. So I thought I'd share it with you. Today, I just wanted to continue a little bit on my rant about intentionality. If you recall, if you were able to tune in back in June, we did 2 episodes on being intentional. And one was with Jorge and I about how we were going to be intentional after COVID, doing some of the things that we'd started to do, especially as a family, important things after COVID. Thankfully, we've been able to continue some of those. And if you haven't heard those were kind of fun episodes. You can jump back to them in June. You can, wherever you're accessing this, you can either connect to our YouTube channel, or to my blog, or even on Instagram. So wherever you're tuning in, you should be able to link directly to those. If not, just let me know and I'll get those links to you. But definitely go back and see those. Those were fun. The one I wanted to tag onto today was where Jorge and I chatted about how intentionality was a huge piece of the founding of Identity Mission, because we were just basically running around after orphan care wherever we could help. We saw so many needs for about 8 years, and then when we were able to, with some friends, help super just focus in and become intentional and say, hey, it doesn't seem like anything's changing. What are we missing? And just intentionally research, ask questions, get some experts, and that's how Identity Mission came to be in the foster care program and family preservation program. And so we chatted about that, and that was our journey on in our ministry of just becoming more intentional. And it takes time and it takes effort, right? It's definitely not necessarily an easy concept. It's something we have to decide. And so I wanted to discuss, a little bit further that, because I just can't seem to shake this concept of being intentional. Personally, right now, just with homeschooling kids, many of you are in the same boat. I have to be super intentional with my time because it's much smaller than it used to be, and what I read, what I choose to research. We're continually wanting to improve our programs, make sure we're serving kids as best we can. There's always new things out there to develop and add in that someone has figured out. And so just where do I focus my time? Personally, ministry-wise, and all of that. And so I just kind of wanted to discuss that with you today as well, just continuing that conversation, because maybe you're finding yourself with a little bit less time. And maybe it's time to just sit down with the Lord and dig a little deep and say, hey, Lord, where do you want me more? And the beauty in that, as you kind of struggle through that and figure out what ministry should you focus more on, is there a friendship you need to be more intentional about right now? Whatever it is, family stuff too, right? The beauty of that is usually at the end of that journey, or, at the beginning of launching that journey, but at the end of the digging deep in the discussion with the Lord, is you'll realize your time's used better and what you're accomplishing is done better. Because the more we're intentional about it, figuring out how we can do it best, how we can focus our time more, not being as scattered and pieces of us everywhere, we'll realize that we're doing things better. And we may be doing less, but we definitely can feel that we're having a bigger impact. And so that same thing goes for wherever we choose to invest ourselves in a ministry, whether it's a hands-on ministry or just a connection to a partner ministry that's overseas, like Identity Mission, or whatever it is, what our churches decide to do for building some kind of ministry program in our church. And so as we kind of walk through that, we need to realize that we can scatter ourselves in pieces, or we can intentionally say, okay, what's my next step for being involved? What's my next step? What does God have in me that he wants to pull out that no one else can do? And that I can use this for whatever ministry he's called me to be a part of, locally, globally, in my neighborhood, right? So we're going to reach out in those areas, right? Neighborhood, nationally maybe in my state, and then globally. And so we can kind of ask the Lord, hey, what's the next step that you have for me to intentionally grow and invest myself in those areas of ministry that you've called us to? And so to help us along that journey, I actually want to announce that we're going to start a series. So for the month of October, we're going to start an intentionality series, but it's going to be focused on this concept. So I'm actually going to ask a different advocate. It will be an advocate in orphan care for Identity Mission, some just special partners in the United States that have chosen, well, maybe we'll do some in Honduras too, we'll see, that have chosen to take some next steps in their advocacy and find out what their niche is, like how God can use their abilities and their talents to further advocate for the orphan child, vulnerable child, get them out of orphanages, get them into family care as they partner with Identity Mission. And so we're going to do some of that chatting with those advocates and hear their personal journey. I'm really excited. I want to tell you all their stories already, but I'm going to wait and let them tell you their stories. And so I'm just excited to announce this series, and I really hope you can join us each Tuesday in October. And so maybe just, if you want to like really take this journey, go ahead and start praying, talking to the Lord about what maybe your next steps are, so that as you hear some of these other personal stories and journeys, it'll inspire you for your next step, your next journey, and doing the next intentional thing for the ministries that you are involved in. And so, I'm just really excited, and ask your prayers. We just really want the Lord to use these testimonies for His glory and for inspiring others. So thank you guys.